Guys, The Mandalorian is officially over, but it's finally time to dive in and give you guys my overall thoughts on all of Season 1. Now, if you want me to go into every single detail of every single episode, I did do a review of every single episode up above in that description down below. So make sure to go hit those up, guys. And of course, if you guys are new here, make sure to comment down below and let me know what your guys' thoughts are on The Mandalorian. Did you guys like it? Did you hate it? Let's discuss it down below. And make sure, guys, to just hit that like and subscribe button because it helps me out and it helps you guys out because you guys get daily content on geeky content like this and early movie reviews of the plenty. We're heading into 2020. It's going to be a great year because, guys, this is the way. So without further ado, let's get started talking about The Mandalorian Season 1. The Mandalorian Season 1 picks up directly right after Return of the Jedi in this time period of the Empire falling. We follow Mando, a Mandalorian who knows the way. And as he goes about one mission in Chapter 1, something astray happens and it changes his thought process of what the guild and everything that kind of goes about it and that he thought he knew might be changed forever. The Mandalorian was one of my most anticipated shows of the year because of Filoni and Favreau being a part of this. It was the main thing that was going to kind of set off what was going to happen with Disney Plus, and really this is the first thing that we're getting with this show. It's the first Star Wars live action show. And this is the thing, is that I always thought that the live action, and in general, just not even live action, but the Star Wars shows have always been able to dive deeper and really explore more of the Star Wars world, whether it's Clone Wars, Rebels, and now Mandalorian. I think it's cool how all the different perspectives are able to add. One's after Revenge of the Sith, one is during the Clone Wars, and of course now we have one right after Return of the Jedi, but also not in particular what this one does is it explores the Mandalorian culture after the original trilogy, because truly we don't know anything about what's been going on with these bounty hunters afterwards, and really hearing about how much the world is built up within this series makes me excited to see how much more they dive into it in future seasons. And within The Mandalorian, one of the things that I had with, and one of my biggest issues with the whole entire show, well, it was an issue. I kind of went away with it now the more that I think about it, but now that I look at the show, this is, while it is a character piece on Mando and who he is and how much he is changing throughout this whole entire season, as we see his thoughts about droids, how he goes about in the parallels with him and the child, this child right here that we are big fans of. The memes aplenty all out there. I love Baby Yoda itself. And if you want to send me a great Baby Yoda meme over on Twitter, please do, because I would love to look at it. The thing that this whole entirety, though, isn't just about his character. It's about exploring around this world with the Mandalorian and showing the culture and what's been going on with those bounty hunters that we just so happen to love. Because really the only thing that we've gotten in live-action Star Wars movies is Boba Fett and Jango Fett. And we've always wanted more of the Mandalorians because they're in the expanded universe, there's so many cool things about them. Now we finally get to know more about them inside the Season 1. And really one of the things that I want to start off with, again, I had issues with 4, 5, and 6 episodes because it felt like they didn't know where the story was going, but those episodes actually added more to this world of what has been going on in here, and also adds a little bit of subtlety to the Mando's character himself. And now looking back, especially after binging the whole entire season again, because I had to, because it's The Mandalorian, I appreciate the show for more than what it is from just that first initial watch, and I think that's a way that many people should check it out without feeling maybe disappointed with it if they were. I like what Filoni and Favreau were doing with the show, and I actually do want to say within this, one of the big highlights of it was the action set pieces. They were bad ass. And I mean, some of the most coolest things that we've seen in Star Wars lore. And that in particular was one of the things that really hooked me for each episode. I was looking forward to what action set piece we were going to get in that one. And especially when you look at the season finale, my God, that just, if you were going to rank every single one of the fight scenes in here, almost all the great ones would come from the season finale, because my God, there were some great ones in that factor. But each episode had a distinct feel to it, while also feeling like it's still part of the same season and also the same exact world, because each director took in their own style and take onto it, whether it's Taika Waititi, who I was a big fan of his last episode, or Deborah Chow, who knocked it out of the park, and I can't wait to see what she does with the Obi-Wan series. This overall just fleshed out the world in such wonderful ways, with wonderful cinematography, and also just the scripts that really lock you in. And while not all the lines were great, or even some of the side characters, which were kind of my big cons for this in some of the smaller episodes, I still appreciated for what the show was and the way that it was able to explore all these worlds and also add in new characters that I really did love and appreciate. Because when it comes to the main characters, I love them. Pedro Pascal's Mando, while he wasn't in the costume fully throughout the whole entire show, when he was in it, you could feel the mannerisms really playing out, and also adding in some of the stuff that he does with the voice and his mannerisms really goes to show how good he is with just his posture and his voice and able to interact it into the show. You also go over to Cool, who was played by Nick Nolte, one of the most surprising characters of the whole entire show. Really emotional structure throughout their entirety. Even IG-11, Taika Waititi's character, very funny, very unique, and I just love the IG droids. But honestly, the two big surprises for me was Carl Weathers' character, who I really loved, and he just brings that charisma to him. But it's Cara Dune. I was not expecting to love Gina Carano's character in here, but I loved her to death, and I loved what she brought to the role as this shock trooper, who's someone that I've been looking forward to seeing. But when she comes in, she made a point, and I wanted more of her in Season 1, to be honest with you guys. I was very surprised with her character, and I don't know if I'm in the minority on that, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts on that as well. Who was your favorite character from The Mandalorian? Let's discuss it. Now, the big thing also that tied together this whole entire season was Ludwig's score, and I think that was the one thing that, when it started, I went, I don't know if I love this score, but as it continued, I went, yeah, I'm loving this score, and as it went on and on and on, it just locked me in. And while I've had issues with the other scores outside of the episodic series, I think this is some of the best score that Star Wars has ever personally had, and that's some of the best stuff in here. Before I get to my final thoughts on The Mandalorian Season 1, guys, make sure, again, to comment down below. Let me know what your overall thoughts on the season were. Make sure to also hit that like and subscribe, and if you guys are new here, never miss out on any early movie reviews and geeky content of the plenty. And of course, if you guys also want to check out movies early in 2020, head over to Sam Shun Films. And of course, a big thank you to you and a big thank you to my Patreon supporters, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. Mandalorian really showed me that this is the way. Baby Yoda might have stole the whole entire show because I just wanted to see the baby, but really all the other main characters in here and the main players really stuck out in some sort of way, and that was one of the biggest and brightest starts of here. The action set pieces are great, the cinematography is great, the score is excellent and enhances every single one of the sequences, and each director took into their own flair and added a little bit more. On a binge, this show impressed me even more, and I cannot wait for what Season 2 brings us, because the way that Season 1 ends, it's a great origin setup for what could come to the future, and I'm excited to dive into more Mandalorian content when it does come out very soon. Hopefully by the end of next year. Fingers crossed on that part, guys. So with all that said, I'm going to give The Mandalorian Season 1 an A-. And guys, let me know what your guys' thoughts are on Mandalorian Season 1. Did you guys like it? Did you hate it? Let's discuss it down below, guys. And of course, until next time, make sure to remember that this is the way, and may the Force be with us all.